On December 21, 2025, the U.S. Navy conducted an interception of the supertanker Libertad in the South Atlantic, which was transporting Venezuelan crude oil to China. The USS John S. McCain carried out the boarding of the tanker without incident. The United States seized both the vessel and its cargo, citing sanctions against Venezuela's PDVSA. This action has implications for the energy relationship between China and Venezuela and reflects ongoing dynamics in international relations. The U.S. seizes oil tankers, enforcing sanctions on Venezuela's PDVSA, arguing any trade violates U.S. law. Officials claim this upholds the rules-based order, but critics say it stretches maritime law and freedom of navigation. The message: U.S. sanctions have global reach, pressuring Maduro's regime and warning others not to defy them. China swiftly condemned the seizure, calling it piracy and a violation of international law. Beijing insists the oil trade with Venezuela is legitimate and outside U.S. jurisdiction. Venezuela echoed the outrage, denouncing the act as imperialist aggression and vowing legal action. Both nations called for an emergency UN Security Council session, framing the U.S. as a rogue actor. They argue the U.S. is misapplying domestic law to international commerce, undermining global norms. The unified front aims to isolate the U.S. diplomatically and rally opposition to its extraterritorial sanctions. The Libertad seizure is the latest in a long U.S. tradition of using naval power to enforce economic policy. From the Cuban Missile Crisis to recent Iranian oil seizures, the U.S. has pressured adversaries by interdicting shipping. But targeting China is a dramatic escalation. Beijing is a global superpower, not a regional actor. The world is watching to see if this marks a new era of great power rivalry at sea. China's Malacca dilemma, its reliance on vulnerable sea lanes for energy, has long shaped its strategy. The Libertad seizure brings this fear to life. U.S. power can threaten China's oil supply anywhere. In response, China has built the world's largest navy and invested in overland pipelines and the Belt and Road Initiative to diversify routes. Strategic oil reserves provide a buffer, but sea routes remain critical. The incident is a stark reminder. Despite years of preparation, China's energy lifeline is still exposed. While one tanker won't cripple China, the message is clear: its maritime supply lines are not invulnerable. The risk of future interdictions now looms large in Beijing's calculations. The Libertad incident has rattled the global shipping industry. Seizing a commercial vessel over U.S. sanctions introduces new risks for maritime trade. Insurers and shippers now face the threat of asset seizure, raising costs and uncertainty. If others follow suit, global trade could fragment, breaking down shared maritime rules. China and Venezuela's first response will be diplomatic, condemning the U.S. at the UN and pursuing legal challenges. Economic retaliation is possible. China could target U.S. companies or restrict American imports, risking escalation. The real danger lies in military posturing. China may begin escorting its tankers with Navy warships, even in distant oceans. This would bring U.S. and Chinese navies into direct contact, raising the risk of standoffs or accidents. A single miscalculation could trigger a crisis. The Libertad incident has moved U.S.-China rivalry from the South China Sea to the world's shipping lanes. The Libertad seizure marks a new era in global energy security, where sanctions enforcement can physically disrupt oil flows. Nations will accelerate efforts to secure supply chains, diversify routes, and build reserves. The assumption that the open seas are safe for commerce is fading. The incident challenges the universality of maritime law and the global trading system. Whether this becomes a new norm depends on the international response. The world faces a future where great power competition plays out not just in trade or tech, but on the high seas. The security of global energy and the rules that govern it hangs in the balance.